Topic three today, and we're going to be quick on this one. 10 biggest questions for college basketball next season. I think you and I can basically just go back and forth on this and each give five, but I want your biggest questions. What are the questions that will define the next college basketball season? You can go first and we'll go back and forth. What's question number one?
How far can $20 million get you in today's college basketball world?
This is a Kentucky based question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My biggest question comes back to the two teams I spent the most time talking about last offseason. Did Dan Hurley and Matt Painter learn from their mistakes? We
Mm.
we think they did, and that's why I have both these teams in my preseason top five. But will they actually live up to those holes being filled and what we expect these teams could be?
Third question. Can Florida avoid the national championship hangover?
Good question. The hangover that plagued Purdue and UConn.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Fourth question for me. How good is Cam Boozer? What is really going to define the season? The winningest guy in this class is Cam Boozer, but he doesn't get the hype that Darren Peterson or AJ DeBanza do. How good is he really at Duke?
Will Bill Self hang it up soon?
Whoa, that's a weird way to frame that question.
How much longer can he take this?
So you're implying that Kansas won't be very good?
No, that's the thing. I think he will. Actually, it's not. It's less. I didn't know how to put it into a question, but it's a Bill. Will Bill Self have the old coach they think he might have lost a step resurgence this season?
Okay. All right.
The
I like
Izzo S step kind of propelled by Darren Peterson.
okay. I like that. We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user, use promo code SLEEPERS, get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code SLEEPERS. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video. My next question six, is Rick Pitino right?
Right. Oh,
He
about
about Ian Jackson, his point guard, and he blew up his entire roster after a season they dominated the Big East. He basically said, RJ Lewis, don't come back. And he brought in a bunch of shoot first guys that don't pass. It's a very talented roster, but is it actually going to work? Was Rick Pitino right about what St. John's needs?
okay. It's a good deal. Caveat to that question too. Did he do the right thing by letting RJ Lewis basically walk?
Right.
Um, what do I want to bring my next question? Who's the best coach and team in the state of Kentucky?
Think we find that out this year? I feel like that's a career long battle.
Yeah, but I'm invested this year.
Can I add to that question? Because I was going to work my team into it somehow.
Yeah.
Which one of the second year coaches goes forward and goes backwards?
Oh,
Because Dusty May, Pat Kelsey, Mark Pope all had objectively great
young,
first seasons.
young.
Young.
Are we throwing like first year coaches
Oh,
in there?
Kevin Young,
Kevin,
BYU.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin Young.
Kind of like this class of last year's debut coaches who keeps up the momentum in year two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. My eighth question. Uh, will Hubert Davis save his job?
Ooh, good one. Good one.
It's an
Good one.
interesting roster. I'm very intrigued if he will or will not.
Mm.
One question each to close it out.
Um, I mean, there's a lot of personal interest in this. Um, but I want to see what DeVries is about in year one.
Is Indiana still my op? Is that your question?
Yeah, yeah. Is Darren DeVries gentrified Mike Woodson?
Oh my God. All right, my last question. Does the Balkan experiment crash and burn or not? Brad Underwood is all the way in, as far in as you can get on Eastern Europeans. And it could be great. It could not work. They got a bunch of guys that aren't as good as Kasparis, and it didn't work last year. But I'm intrigued. I'm bought in. I'm paying attention. I think those are the 10 questions that will define the next college basketball season.
Fun.
That was fun. Maybe we could answer them next time.